Yeah.
Yeah.
It's heavy. It's a lot. A lot has happened, but hopefully we can all listen tonight to get an understanding of everyone's perspective and point of view and not listen to rebuttal. A lot of people there are plenty of perspectives out there about what's going on right now in terms of the pandemic, in terms of the protests, in terms of priorities and your mental health and recovering from that, recovering from the trauma, really. And there's so many perspectives that there's a little self-righteousness going on online and social media and just circles of people that you talk to. So I'm really hoping that tonight will be different in that people are tuning in and listening to everyone's perspective to understand that we're all processing it a little differently, and not listen for necessarily rebuttal or to tell someone that they are wrong in how they're dealing with what's going on right now.
Right.
Because my experience is my experience, not the experience that everyone else has. So
Right.
definitely.
Absolutely.
Well, talk about your experiences, starting with you, Natural Keish. Show me, like, how are you feeling right now, and tell me just over the past couple of months, how did you just take all this in?
So today, I'm much better.
Okay.
When everything started, my kids were away. They weren't here. They were on spring break. And then the school system said, we're now doing online. So I went to get them so that I could make sure that they're finishing school at home. So I had school at home, single parenting, working, doing everything at the same time. It was a bit much.
Yeah.
Extremely overwhelming. Trying to keep up with the news, trying to keep up with everything that's going on, what not to do, where not to go, make sure the kids are safe, make sure all the assignments are turned in, staying on top of all of your work, making sure there aren't any errors. Like, it was quite much. I do have a therapist. Shout out to Veronica Swink if you're in DFW.
Hey,
Veronica Swink. And I talk to her regularly. There was a point where I had to have some emergency sessions. We have done some. I've done some work. So I'm getting some support to help me through some things that have been going on. But it has definitely been a mental journey. I haven't been able to really. I think I watched Ahmaud's assassination. I have not seen George Floyd's. I have not. And then I stumbled upon another execution of a young man who was being arrested. He had handcuffs. He was handcuffed, and he was executed. The other guy, there was another guy that you probably did not mention. He was a veteran. He was suffering from mental illness, and he was in the car without a shirt on. He was on Facebook Live. And the police were behind him, and he got out the car, and like he was running, and then all of a sudden you can just see people saying, "Did you see those bullets flying?" And one of the officers said, "Oh, this is gonna have to be a closed casket." So it was.
He was a young guy.
Yes. So just a lot. You know, you have to pick and choose what you want to view and what you want to look at. And I haven't been very vocal on social media about what's been going on. I'm more of a silent protester, so to speak. You know, you may see like Black Lives Matter somewhere, but I just hadn't been very vocal because it is very draining to my energy, and we want to protect that. So
yeah, that's true.
It has been a bit much, but I'm fine today.
What about you, Nina?
In terms of my experience, so I was with my family when COVID really ramped up, and so we were all able to go into lockdown, so to speak, together for the shelter at home orders. And I was able to have my family nearby. My daughter was home with me. She's in high school, so I don't have the same experience as some of the other parents may have had with having younger children to have to facilitate coursework with and double check homework. I didn't have that part of it, but I was going back into the job market when COVID happened, and I was hired on board to a telecommunications company just as soon as everything started to really ramp up. So in terms of mental health, I've just been feet on the ground supporting operations and IT, and that's a space that really goes unnoticed because there was so much attention on frontline workers, but our role was essential as well because frontline workers needed telecommunications and information technology to stay afloat and actually perform their job functions. So for the past 10 weeks, I've been working like 80, 90 hours a week nonstop, just to keep things afloat on, for my customers, me and my team members. So shout out to all of you. You know who you are. I will not name the company because my thoughts tonight are very much based on my own experience being a minority woman in that space, and what has taken place and how it has impacted me is different from the experience many of my counterparts may have had. So I'll refrain from that. But mental health, I definitely checked in with my therapist and with my medical health care team, because it's no secret that I've had my challenges in that realm before, and it was good to see how on board everyone was when I said, hey, we're not doing good right now, because your body just cannot function at 100 miles per hour without you resting. So that's the area that I more so struggled in. And because of that, I refrained from looking at the videos online. I did not watch any of them. It was just more of a priority to protect my mental health, my peace of mind, my spirit man, and stay encouraged and protest in a different way. I put my energy somewhere else. And really, I'm just trying to stay healthy for myself, for my family, for my daughter, and participate and support in other ways. But I think what we're seeing right now, if you don't mind me taking the Band-Aid off of tonight's topic, is Black women or women of minority colors, specifically Black women, because that's who we are. We are, I would say, in the minority with every revolution or I would say change movement that takes place. We are a powerful force behind those movements, but we're often forgotten in terms of how it affects us and how it impacts us. And I think it's important that we keep that in mind. Not only are we forgotten in race runs and gender runs, but we're also forgotten very much in faith runs. So I think we're at a pivotal point to really start thinking about how we prioritize ourselves with the amount of change that is starting to take place.
Yeah.